Hello, rat fans. Welcome to another Retro RHLSTP. I think we're still back in 2022. It might be 2023 by now. But we're repeating these because we're putting out the full videos for free on YouTube, but also repeating them as audio so you can get a second chance to listen. Or if you're new to it, you can listen to these. It's a golden period, this 2022, I have to say, just out of all the lockdowns. Great guests, having lots of fun. And this week is the Socially Distant Sports Bar. You know those guys, amazing guys, and lots of fun with this one. It was great to get them on. You know how much I love sport. The old snooker and York City Football Club are my passions. So it was great to get these guys on. A lot of fun. If you enjoy these, do tell your friends. Help us out with some money at gofasterstripe.com/badges. You can get the audio ad-free. You can get a day in advance. You can get all sorts of. You get entered into a monthly competition every single month that you remember, where you can win a big box of priceless junk from my office. There's lots of reasons to join. It'd be lovely to have you. It helps keep us going. gofasterstripe.com/badges or come and see us live. It's lots of fun, and you see the bits we have to cut out because I've been too rude or my guest has revealed too many wonderful secrets. Anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy. 3 men talking about sport and 1 man pretending he likes sport. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leicester Square Theatre. Please welcome a man who was nearly sucked off by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Is Richard Herring. I forgot, I've got to take the mic. Hello, I put it back. Hello. Hold on, I've got another mic here. I don't need this one. Oh, look, it's all gone wrong. That's got to go there. It's all right. We'll edit that out and no one will know what's happened. They won't edit it out. Hello, thank you, my fine friends. Welcome to another episode of Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast. I was talking to Blue, the raptor from Jurassic World. He calls it RHLSTP, so we're going to... It's good, it's Jurassic World's good. Don't buy... There's some big orange eggs in the gift shop. Don't buy those. They don't have a price on them. They're 32 quid. And they're full of shit. Apart from that, it was good. I've got a new notebook for next time. Good. Look, it's lovely to be here. Have I got anything to talk about? I was going to say we're recording this towards the end of September. And I've got something nice to say. We've given Liz Truss a go. It's time to get Boris back for another chance. Don't you think? That's what I think. Come on, let's get. We're missing him now, aren't we? Careful what you wish for. The thing is, this isn't going out, I think, until the 14th of October. She probably isn't the Prime Minister anymore, so I kept on predicting that Boris Johnson would be the Prime Minister. I think she might be gone. I think she might have a little accident. I guess. Oh, I was going to tell you. I'll tell you this quickly. I like walking around fields clearing stones off. I don't know if you know this about me. But the other day, 2 days ago, yesterday maybe it was, I found quite an old brick, like an almost full brick, and it looked quite old. And I've always wanted to find like a Roman villa on my field so I could just dismantle the whole thing and put it to the side. And so I wondered, it looked handmade and it was all full of imperfections and I didn't know how old it was. And I went on Twitter and asked, and most people went, it's from yesterday. It's not even funny, so fuck off everyone on Twitter. But about 3 people on Twitter tried to seriously answer it. And one was the brick expert from Time Team, who said it was from mid to late 18th century brick. I know. I still put it on a can. I haven't kept it, but just quite nice, isn't it? Something like that can happen on Twitter. Just thought I'd give you some good news because you're going to be killed in a nuclear war quite soon. I thought I'd try and cheer you up with a charming. This won't even go out. We're all going to meet with a little accent. Right, look, let's crack on. My guests this week are probably best known. nightmare today. As Dougie in Down the Caravan, the narrator of Rock and Rugby Years, and the guitarist from the indie punk band Heck. Will you please welcome Mike, Steff and Elis from the Socially Distant Sports Bar podcast. Here they are. Here they are. Very good. How lovely to see you guys. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks, Rich. Very nice. Nice intro, by the way.
Thank you, it's good.
Yeah.
You, Dougie in Caravan?
I did play Dougie in Down the Caravan.
Down
it
the
was
Caravan?
An independent production.
Yeah, you've been in a few independent productions.
I never saw the light of day, that one.
Oh, really?
Really independent.
Luckily, as it was terrible, so it's all right.
Okay. Have you got a copy of it? We can...
Yeah, I'll send it over to you, no problem.
Yeah, great.
I got,
Right.
I got loads of copies.
You were very kind to me. You could have chosen far worse things from my...
I could. I
Just
nearly
CV.
chose... you were from the TV...
He's done everything.
The music video... The Welsh language music video programme Bandit.
Yeah. You could have chosen The Secret Life of Farmyard Animals.
Yeah.
Voiceover. You could have chosen...
Channel 5's list of everything.
No. It's
Five
Channel
star.
5 Star's greatest ever movie blunders.
3.
And Channel...
Parts 1 through 27.
Yeah. Which is a...
The mortgage years.
Which is a...
Help, she's left me.
Yeah. Channel W's Honey, I Bought the House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't even get a laugh of recognition.
No, it was just like... They felt sad for you.
Just not funny.
Just completely blank faces.
I like the name of the band. I like the sort of
Heck.
nearly rude name of the band, but not
Yeah.
you couldn't quite commit to going.
Oh, hell.
Wash your mouth out.
Wasn't it Motorhead or something? We were going to be called the Bastards or something like that. It was something like that. And then someone said, just come up with another name. But Heck isn't quite.
Yeah. It's very difficult to come up with a good band name, though.
Yeah.
Almost impossible, I would say. Yeah, Arctic Monkeys is a shit
That's a
name.
shit name.
But they are a good band, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
The Beatles is one of the worst.
It's crap.
Worst
That is a shit
names.
And
Yeah.
I love the Beatles.
Counting Crows.
Shit.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Shit.
Bare Naked Ladies.
Is this what we're going to do all night?
Yeah.
You could do it all night.
I got at least 10 more I can do.
Well, but it's a funny name. It's like the B sharps in Simpsons.
Yes,
It's funny for the first time you hear it, and then increasingly less funny every time. And then they'll go, ah. So, yeah. Was it a good band, Heck?
We were fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Were you?
We were, but riven by administrative problems.
A tale as old as time.
What I realised, being in a band, is similar to being in a sketch group, is that administratively, you've got 4 creative people, and you can always pass the buck to someone else. So, for instance, when I was doing stand-up, I was the only one who could book my own gigs, and I was the only one who could send invoices. But I remember once we did a gig for the NME in Bethnal Green, and we all took the afternoon off our respective jobs and drove from Cardiff to Bethnal Green. Did the gig. The gig went quite well. No.
Stay with it, man. Stay with it.
Sorry, it's in real time, this.
Yeah, it is.
No, but it was like, are we getting paid? And the drummer said, well, I'm the drummer. I'm not asking. I'm not sorting out the gigs. And the guitarist, that was me, was like, well, I'm not fucking doing it because I'm too handsome to ask if we're getting... And then the singer, well, I can't. And then the bassist said, and the guy was like, no, of course not. And then we all drove back arguing then because we hadn't done the admin. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
I don't even know why
Bloody good point as well.
I'm starting to see why the rest of the band are still together, right? But
Yeah.
They just chucked you out.
Yeah.
Wasn't so much a breaking up as fucking you off.
Yeah, I was in the band for sort of riffs and anecdotes that peter out.
I thought that was a name, Riffs and Anecdotes.
It's a good name. It's a good name. And Rock and Rugby Years, you're the narrator of Rock
That's
and...
me. Yeah,
Rock
I've
and
got nothing, have I? Let's be honest. You're
I
trawling,
mean, it was hard to find...
You're trawling through IMDb going, who the fuck is he? That's all right. That's fine. Yeah, it was what
Was
it
it
says on the
rugby
tin.
with some songs in it?
It's the rock and roll years. It's basically a BBC Wales idea where they've nicked something and gone, but with rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is most BBC Wales ideas.
X Factor, but with rugby. Piece of piss. Easiest pitching process ever.
Whereas S4C, the Welsh language channel, does all that, but with farming.
It's true. X Factor with just cows.
Yeah. Well, there was. It was Fern Factor, wasn't there? Which
There was.
No, there was.
That is true.
Farm Factor.
Farm
Fern
Factor.
Factor.
Factor, yeah.
Fern Factor, yeah.
Yeah,
What was
Farm
that?
Factor.
Was that farmers or
It was,
animals?
From what I remember, it was like sort of farming skills, but done quickly. Like sort of
Fast threshing.
like I suppose
Growing crops quickly.
Yeah,
really fast.
but
growing.
but like sort of CrossFit, done very, very quickly and with bad form, so people would get injured. So like sheep shearing, but quickly.
Or milk udder squeezing really, really quick.
Yeah.
They got a point in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And a really peed off cow.
How are you feeling about your new Prince and Princess of Wales, guys? You're happy to... You're happy to... It's nice, isn't it? And they look... Would those be the ones you'd have chosen if you'd...
I was driving across the Prince of Wales Bridge just last week.
Were you?
Yeah.
As we all call it.
Yes, everyone in Wales calls it.
Everyone calls it that.
Well, as someone obviously who earns a portion of his living on the BBC,
Would you like to remain silent?
I would like to say that I feel absolutely neutral about it all. And if I was to meet them, I would say I feel neutral.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting emotion to feel. It's absolutely nothing.
Not even apathy.
Not even apathy. No.
I did a gig about 2 days after the... Well, it was as soon as you could do gigs after the big event of recent times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without going too deeply into it, right?
The Queen dying.
Yeah, that's the
Yes,
one. For Adam Kay in the arena in Cardiff, big venue.
Yeah.
I got an email that morning to say, "Can I please wear black?" and they said, "Do you mind doing a minute silence before you come on?"
Well, that's going to
I
rebuild
said,
the
as
room,
long as
innit?
you don't mind 30 minutes silence after I come on, absolutely fine. Yeah,
Silence,
honestly,
okay.
honest to God.
Yeah, a friend of mine was asked to compare a minute's silence. That's true.
It's a great gig.
And he just said,
I'd do that.
he said, can we start after the minute's silence? Rather than me
Mate,
go on, ask someone in the front row what they do for a living and then say, right. Shh.
This will shine a light on Radio Wales.
Go on.
But I, about 3 years ago for Comic Relief, did a sponsored silence on Radio Wales. Which I was, if I'm honest, pissed off I turned up for.
What was it? What
It's
was
weird
the
that
charity?
it's weird that they're English though, right? The Prince and Princess. It's weird, don't it, Alice? That they're-
Yeah.
It's weird. They're English.
Let's just do L.
I would say that it is an historically interesting neutral quirk.
There's a conversation to be had.
Yeah, there's a conversation to be had that I won't be leading.
No.
That is tremendously historically neutral and interesting.
It'll be worth if they because
I wish them both. I wish them both good and bad luck.
And no luck.
No luck.
And all the luck.
Good and bad and no luck. Yeah.
if they look as stupid as Prince Charles did. Is it Carnarvon Castle that he got the investitures
investiture,
before your time, but and before my time, I think.
I'll just answer for Elis there.
Yeah.
No comment.
You seem an unusual group of men to me.
What on earth makes you think that, Reg?
How on earth did you three begin working together?
I knew Mike from... Our kids went to the same school and played rugby together, obviously, because it's Wales.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and...
The school run.
The school run,
So did
basically.
I have to start doing a podcast with someone from my school run?
Yeah.
That could be bad.
Well, it's quite a standout character on the school run,
Yeah.
I
Thank
would
you.
say.
Thank you. very much.
Yeah.
The guy who dresses
Not like that.
entirely like it's 1973. Not that standout
Not like
character, no. We did pilots with him, they didn't go well.
Yeah. I love the 70s, but not that much. You know what I mean?
Some bits of the 70s were bad.
I was queuing up with the kids. I was queuing up with the kids like the gates hadn't opened the other day, and they both sort of ran to see their friends. I said, "You've got to come back, otherwise I'm just a weird old man." And the dad in front of me really laughed at that. So I think it really hit home. Yeah.
Or he was the weird old man.
He was, yeah.
You say, Dad.
I'd worked with Elis on Feast of Football podcast that Elis does.
Yeah.
Elis and Mike obviously know each other. It made sense. So we just kind of linked it all up.
And so with it all started in lockdown, though, right? This
in the first week of lockdown.
Right.
Yeah. Steff sent us sent me a WhatsApp first, didn't you?
Yeah, say, oh, all right, chill out.
Well, I'm just
Don't
saying.
make him feel shit.
Well, no, because I said yes.
I said
to me.
you and Josh Widdicombe attend. Yes.
Then Rob Beckett said no when I asked him.
Yeah, that was it. Wasn't it?
That was it. Yeah, I sent 2 texts.
Alice didn't reply.
Yeah. Waiting for Mike to reply.
Yeah.
Yeah, you replied, said, yeah.
Well, no, there was literally nothing else to do. I was a stand-up comic in lockdown, and I went from doing 3 nights a week. I tell my wife that it was 1 or 2 nights a week to no nights a year.
You just sat in KFC car park.
Yeah. How'd the gig go? Good. Yeah, good.
Well, you guys didn't have. You had the 5 Live show.
Yeah.
And you didn't have gigs.
True.
It's one of those when you see a stand-up and you think, I don't know why they haven't got a bigger audience yet. Yeah. I always thought that with Mike. I always thought I don't quite get. No. But I genuinely don't mean that in a disparaging way. I don't mean.
Then I thought about it for a while, realised it was because he was shit, and then see if we can help him out with that.
No, but I genuinely don't get sometimes like you guys work.
Steff, an outfit is not enough.
The man's got a full character act. I don't know what.
Wankers.
But you guys must see loads of comedians where you go, why the fuck haven't they broken through?
It's more the ones that have broken through. That
We go on the fucking have they?
They're the ones that
What you see on
flummox
the
me.
Palladium.
Yeah. So that was it, really. I mean, yeah.
And until now,
You took pity on me and offered me a gig.
Yeah.
So was it your idea, Steff? The format of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We went for the usual 60-20-20 split.
We genuinely, people think we're lying about this, but we hadn't met we'd never been in a room at the same time we did the podcast for over a year before we ever were in the same room together.
Yeah.
We'd never.
The gig we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first gig we did, the first live gig in Hammersmith was the first time we'd ever met each other.
First time the 3 of us had ever been together.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bit odd, wasn't it?
No.
Well, no,
It should have been odd.
It sounds odd.
Yeah.
Because of Zoom, we sort of thought we'd been in a room together for a year and we hadn't been.
Yeah.
It was just weird to be wearing trousers, to be honest.
I was doing stuff online with people I'd never met. So like Stevie Martin, I was doing like sketches most weeks with Stevie Martin. Yeah. And Bela Zafra as well. I think I had met him, but not really. But and so it's like really crazy when you suddenly then you meet someone and realise she's about 6 foot tall. And you're not expecting anything. But yeah, so it was sort of the lockdown sort of threw it all together. The idea of the podcast is you'd come with your favourite sporting clips or clips or interesting
Originally,
clips.
yeah, wasn't it?
And it has.
I want to do a sports podcast.
Yeah.
With 2 funny people.
Yeah.
And it's probably a comedy podcast with a bit of sport.
Yeah.
Now, I would say. Yeah?
Well, it's started off like 58 minutes and now it's about 2 or 3 days long, isn't it?
Yeah. The first 5 or 6 are quite sporty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're now on podcast 127. And I would say, about 15% of it is now sport.
But I mean, there's enough sport there if you like sport. I'm not selling it. You know.
There's enough sport there if you like. You don't like sport.
I'm not mad on sport. I like sport more than I like music, so I'm not particularly into music. I sort of do. As a kid, I watched a lot of sport, and then I'm sort of drifting back into observing sport.
We got one Twitter.
What?
Tweet.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
A tweet.
They're all words.
Yeah.
All right.
Twitter follower.
A zing. We got a zing. We got a zing from a woman who lived in Chicago, was it? Early days? Well, fuck.
Go on, yes.
I
Yes.
told you the story on the pod, you should listen.
Don't listen to
And
it.
she
I mean,
started-
you took the piss out of my anecdote about playing a gig in Bethnal Green.
So far, you're trying to get me to back up an anecdote that may have happened in 127 episodes.
No, but she said to us, or to me, and then I told you two about it, and you forgot about it, was, I live in America, I've never been to Wales, I've never been to the UK, I don't like sport.
Oh, I remember.
She said, but this is my favourite podcast. I told you about that at the time.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. Yeah.
It was a
Oh,
short
yeah,
story.
I don't think I definitely think you don't need to like sport. I think sport's funny, and I don't think there's enough comedy about sport. I think sport is intrinsically amusing, which is so. I play snooker against myself because I think the idea
Yeah.
of caring about who wins
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the idea of watching someone who isn't very good at something
And
is more interesting to me than watching someone who's really good. So.
I think most of the sort of media around sport is based around very, very boring tactical stuff. And that
Yeah.
is not what most... that is
And
not
being
what-
very serious.
Yeah, that's not what most people care about.
We wanted to do a version when you go to the pub with your mates to talk about sport after a game.
Yeah.
You don't really talk about sport for long.
Yeah.
You sort of shoot off in different directions, talk about
It's a
everything
bit
else.
of it. I went to the Wales-Poland game last night, and yeah, on the walk back to the pub, you talk a little bit about the fact that they dived all game.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
And then you just toss about for an hour, don't you?
And it was a horrible, weird time in the first lockdown where no one knew what was going on. So we sort of said very early doors, we won't mention that. We'll never mention the lockdown. We won't reference it at all. Won't reference coronavirus. We'll just talk nonsense
Yeah.
once a week and try to put it out. I mean, we didn't make any money out of it for about the first, well, you told us.
You
for the
two
first
didn't make
6
any money
months.
out for ages,
No.
no. Legally mine.
Yeah.
We didn't.
No,
we
we
didn't make money out for ages, and then, yeah, looked at what you were doing in terms of how you can financially
Yeah.
I thought
put
it better.
money into a
I
play
thought
about
it-
Rasputin.
Yeah, that was it. And then it was nice. Wasn't it? But I think the audience that listened to it, we sort of said very early as well that we'd try to get it out every week if we could. So every Tuesday, have a day when it always came out, so you knew that Tuesday that podcast would drop.
Yeah.
And then through bouts of coronavirus, floods,
Yeah.
fires,
Yep.
electrical incidents.
All the Old Testament shit.
Oh, yeah. Locusts, wasn't
Locusts,
it?
yeah.
Frogs, that was a weird one, wasn't it?
The day you texted saying you couldn't do it because of frogs, I was just
Yeah. Yeah, and then, that was it then. And Elis turned to salt one week, didn't he?
But I think it's interesting the way that it is about talking. It's about guys talking, right? Which is, and I know this is something you're interested in, Elis, and your other work. But it's about guys talking, and guys traditionally are only able to talk about sport and with each other, and it does drift off into other things. I think it's sort of also interesting to compare. I've just been reading Ian Stone's book about the Jam, but also he's a football fan in the 1970s. And when you look at football fans in the 1970s compared to football fans now, it's a very, very different thing. So like people might still have the idea that football fans are going mainly to try and kill each other in the streets before the games. But, you're three in different ways are sensitive. And, I'm not you so much, Mike.
I am. That's hurt me.
Oh, no. You're not lad. You're not lad. You're not lads. And I think that's an interesting progression in terms of, the progression of masculinity within society. I think there's I know you're messing around and joking, but I think that's something that's in there.
But also, you can't lie about yourself.
No.
For 2.5 hours every week, because you couldn't sustain that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the reasons why the listeners engage with it so much is that they really genuinely do feel that they know us, because they do. Because it's not an act. You can put an act on for 10 minutes or 10, 15 minutes if you've been interviewed, but you can't for 2.5 hours. And also, when you're doing it with your friends, it would be impossible to sustain an act because it would be inauthentic.
Yeah.
So then you put it out, and if people like it, they really like it. And then they like you and they like the other stuff you do. So it's a completely different kind of comedy, the podcast, really.
Yeah.
In that, I think, in my experience, having done lots of the different kinds of comedies, it's the one that gets the most devoted audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Are
there's
there
engagement there, isn't
devoted
there?
panel show audiences?
Well, you know what it's like, because of like Twitter and because of social media,
Yeah.
you know, we get a really nice following, but people get involved with it and they put ideas in and we talk about people and people come to the live shows and it's more, without sounding too wanky about it, it's a nice community that you build around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very intimate medium, and I think it's there every week, and some people, it's entertainment, and some people, it's, this is very, very important in my life and helps me. You get a lot of people telling you, I think, when you do podcasts about how you've helped someone through a difficult time in their
Yes.
life, where you were a reliable,
Yeah.
not a sort of friend, but also just voice.
And just, I think, being honest as well, just about things that, I'm not... we talked on the pod once when we try to, not champion is the wrong word, but we talk about women's sport, we talk about disability sport, and we talk about mental health, and we talk about physical health, we talk about lots of different things. And I'd see some of my mates from where I grew up, and they say, "You've changed, haven't you?" I say, "Yeah, I have." Yeah. like that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Yes, I have changed. You didn't just think that. I said, "Well, no, but I do think that now." Is the point? Right?
You've progressed as a human.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I have grown up a bit. Yeah. So I remember I talked about having panic attacks once on the podcast, quite candidly about it. And a mate of ours, I'm not going to name him obviously, phoned me up and said, "Was that true, mate?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, thank God." He said, "I've been having panic attacks. I don't know who to talk to about it."
Yeah.
And we had like an hour-long conversation on the phone. I said, "Mate, you can call me anytime. You can come around anytime." So I think when they see my dad would describe a big, hairy-ass ex-rugby player talking about stuff like that, then people, it's just dropping the facade. Like Al said, you can't bullshit people for 3 hours a week every
No,
day.
but I think it's a really positive thing compared to our father's generation.
Yeah, 100%.
It's great that you're doing. That sport it has that as well. Because I think for me, like sporty guys and people who are interested in sport. As a kid, you'd think there would be a certain way, and they might have been a certain way, so it is.
They definitely were.
Yeah. So it's but it's it is, as you say, it's a growth, and I think it's a growth for hopefully more and more men as well, because that talking about those things is half the battle.
Well, I used to be a PE teacher. I taught PE for years, and I met my wife when I was teaching PE. She was staff. Absolutely clear.
Our PE teacher married one of his students. I think in the school
She
I
wasn't
went
a
to.
student, Richard. But she said, because I was still playing rugby at the time, I said, "What do you think the first time you saw me?" She said, "Well, I fancied you, obviously." She said, "But I thought you were a wanker." Because she was an English teacher. But didn't know that I had depths.
It's a good rule of thumb with a PE teacher, though, isn't it? It is. It's a good rule.
Yes. You're going to be good looking and you're going to be a wanker.
The funny thing as well is I grew up in a very rugby playing town.
Yeah.
And I was really put off by all of the butt funnels and the drinking pints of piss.
The raljexing of parts.
And the raljexing of...
So then you started playing rugby.
Of anuses. And then you talk to Mike, and he was doing all of that stuff, but it's very entertaining when you hear about it 25 years on.
Yeah.
So...
I find it fascinating that you two would probably have hated each other.
No,
Or just been afraid.
I just would have been afraid of him, and he would have ignored me. Yeah. But now, 30 years on, there is, there's an olive branch
With a sort of referee guy between, a guy in a referee shirt between you, keeping you apart. So the podcast also went to. You've done a TV version of it on BT Sport, which it does work really well as a kind of enclosed 30-minute idea as well. I think.
Well, they were lovely. I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair to BT Sport, when you deal with TV people, a lot more than I do, but we've all dealt with TV people. They were genuinely fans of the podcast.
Yeah.
And then they listened to it and they were patrons and stuff, so they were involved with it. So they let us pretty much
they approached us and they didn't want to change it.
Yeah.
Which is quite rare in my experience.
Yeah.
They just said, we just want a TV version, and they allowed us to make that, which was very refreshing. And I think I watch it and I'm completely happy with it.
Yeah. It was interesting hearing you talking to Bob last week.
Oh yeah, last week.
Yeah, last week. I listened to that one. while I was out running.
How did you listen to that?
I
when it isn't out yet.
Because this is in the future.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking hell. My head hurts.
I was in the bath. I loved it.
He was just by the bar over there in the bar. Horrible. And listening to you guys talking about the Gone Fishing crew.
Oh, yeah, great.
The crew that we had on that show, I thought, you have meetings and they go, yeah, we don't want to change anything. And you're going to turn up first day and they're going to be like,
Yeah.
can you not with that? Can you do this?
And it's set in space.
And you're a robot.
Yeah.
And I'm being played by Matt Berry.
And Josh has replied to the text now. But they were brilliant. They just went, yeah, just crack on.
Yeah.
Do it. And yeah, we'll work around you. Fantastic.
And it was right by my house as well.
That was the winner for me. They were like, where do you want to film it? And me and Mike just went, near us. Great.
Sorry, Al.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry.
In the first one, you talk about whether warming up is necessary for players. Which I thought that was a very
Mugs game.
Mike's got a very sort of 1960 attitude to warming up and stretches and all that kind of stuff. It's very old school.
You genuinely think it's bollocks, don't you?
Yeah, complete, yeah. Which went on well in PE lessons. When Ofsted turned up. You didn't do a warm-up phase, Mr. Bubbins. Bollocks.
I'm not sure about professional sport. I think like ostentatious. I do park run, and there's a guy in park run who does the most ostentatious warm-up you've ever seen. Right at the at the front, like
Lunges?
15 minutes before.
What are we talking?
He
Full
does
lunge?
everything. I mean, he's like down on his, he's planking. He's doing.
He hates planking. Oh, mate, it's like a trigger.
Yeah. It's one of Mike's core principles that he will not plank for no man.
Ironically.
Yeah.
I would say to run the park run 5K, you probably, you could
Does
stretch.
he win?
You could stretch. I don't know. I'm not at the front. That's all I can say. So I don't know. Someone does it in about. My nephew's extremely good at. He doesn't do my park run, but he can do park run in about 15, 15.
What is it? 5K?
Yeah.
That's rapid. That's good.
But that's the winners get about 17. My nephew, who does marathons, I know you're doing one.
Yeah.
Did the Cheddar Park run last time he was back. He lives abroad now, and he ran a half marathon, did the park run.
Oh, dear.
Won the park run, and then did the rest of them.
Wow.
We did a live gig. Was it Belfast? Was it the Belfast gig?
No,
it's
Edinburgh.
London.
The Edinburgh gig we did.
Yeah.
I got up for breakfast, wonder where Steff was, finished my breakfast, and as I walked outside the front of the hotel, you were just coming back from running a half marathon.
Oh, that was the London one.
Oh, London, was it?
The Edinburgh one, I left. We were in the pub. We were in the bar till about 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just woke up early because I've got kids, and you got that thing where you just wake up early. And there was a 10K just going on, so I thought, I may as well join that. And I was about 7K into it, and I thought, I don't know where this finishes. Because we're not going back to Edinburgh. And I wound up 10K outside Edinburgh at the rugby stadium.
And then ran back.
No, I got cramp.
Well, Steff, he edits the podcast. It was his idea. He works harder on it than Mike and I combined.
Oh, crush it.
He does all the admin. He's a full-time lecturer. He's also run the marathon in New York. And Steff is at the long run stage of his training, so he needed to do 17 miles before work, which meant that he set his alarm for 3:50 a.m., which would suggest that you have a deep sadness, Steff. Because that is not normal.
The only people up at that time on the streets are worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bin men.
Yeah.
If you see someone walking through Cardiff Bay and you're jogging at that time in the morning, shit,
I just don't get it. I've never enjoyed the running thing.
I do like running.
Yeah, you love it. You enjoy it. You enjoy it.
Yeah.
You enjoy
Not
it.
at 3:50 a.m.
Yeah. I'm meant to be doing some half marathons, but I can't do one of them now. So I might try and do it again next year rather than this year. Yeah. But I'm not. I haven't been doing the training. I haven't been training.
Well, your times are really good, aren't they?
I'm doing all right for a quite portly 55-year-old man. My half man's like 1:47. I think is my best.
That's really good.
Radio Wales again, Rich.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago asked me if I'd be interested in hosting or contributing certainly to the radio coverage of the Cardiff Half Marathon. I said no, right? And I listened to some of it, and it was people just going, what's your name, love? Stacey. Who are you running for, Stacey? Kidney research. Good luck. It's like 2 more hours of that.
Who are you running? Are you running it for a charity, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's Grassroots Soccer.
Right.
The American guy, one of the guys who runs the company, listens to the podcast, and he got in touch and said, because we've talked about trying to set up something where we get kit out to people who can't afford kits, footballs out to people. These guys already work in a couple of countries in Africa where they use football to basically give them messages about safe sex, about drugs, and sort of house them in a way as well. So it's kind of taking the sport again, like we do, as a start point, and doing something quite positive with it. So, yeah, it makes sense to me to do it.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you kind of have quite a social conscience. I know you. I listened to your latest podcast, and you said you were giving your fee from tonight.
Yeah, from this one, yeah. Well, we said we were chatting.
Yeah. Do we?
When I say we were chatting. We were chatting about...
Steff had a chat with himself.
Yeah, I had a chat with myself.
About what we should do with our fee.
With my 60% of that fee. Look, we were talking about David Ginola, weren't we, I think, on the pod?
Yeah.
And he'd had a heart attack. And we were talking about defibrillators and how they're obviously quite an important thing in life and in society, and there aren't enough of them out there. So Mike just went, yeah, we'll buy one. I was like, can we Google it first? Can we see how much they cost? Yeah. So it's doable. Guys at Save a Life Cymru are going to part fund it with us. But yeah, you're kind enough to give us a few quid for doing this.
Well,
so.
we'll double your fee in that case.
Oh,
Rich.
Thanks, Rich.
So
to £30.
Yes.
It's going to be £5 each.
Does my beer come out of that as well?
Yeah,
that's right.
So, and we'll give half of that 30 quid to Save a Life Cymru. That's great. Right, okay.
But no, it's good. I mean, I think I've been thinking this, with all these the tax cuts and like rich people being given more money when obviously poor people need to be given more money, and then obviously it's not going to trickle down. Yeah, it does mean it means that people who are making money, I think, need to start thinking this way, that let's put some of that money.
Well, we talk about it, and we think you just got to put your money where your mouth is. So
it's really hard to not come across like an arsehole, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you say,
you've got a defibrillator. You've got a defibrillator.
Let's get a big roulette wheel up here. Spin it around. Oh, sorry. Your club does not get a defibrillator.
It was like a sort of poignant opera.
But it's not, I think it's nice, and if something starts making, this is sort of an I think for me as well, podcasting was never like, I'd never thought we'd make a revenue out of this, So like it's a sort of unexpected windfall when you do start making money out of it. So it's nice, it's nice to look after your families. I know you've all got families, but it's equally nice to say, let's share that good luck a bit. So it's, it's a really great thing to do. Let's talk about, shall I ask you an emergency question? To cover up the embarrassment of us being such great guys.
I think we should do more.
Such pretty nice guys.
What a lovely fella I am. Can I just say my wife's birthday's tomorrow, which will be 2 weeks ago?
Ages ago, wasn't it? When?
So in the past, Kelly, happy birthday to you 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
That's nice.
Have you bought us something already?
Happy birthday.
I bought a fragrance, but it doesn't arrive till Thursday.
Fuck's sake. Seriously?
Yeah.
That's it?
What do you mean, is that it? It's not Yardley Gold. I bought 2 nice fragrances. She's a nightmare to buy for.
All right, I've got a question for you guys. It's dinosaur themed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
If you had to be given oral sex by a dinosaur, if you had to be, which dinosaur would you like to be mouthed to completion by?
I would say, for the jeopardy, a velociraptor.
Short arms, though.
I would say something like we used to call it in the old days a Diplodocus, now call it Diplodocus.
When did that change?
30 years ago? I think when I was watching Jurassic Park, they said Diplodocus. I went, what? Oh, you mean a Diplodocus? Two reasons.
Is that not an aluminum?
No, they're spelled the same, but aluminum is actually spelled differently from aluminium.
Is it?
Yeah, it was a mistake in a scientific textbook. They left the I out, so they called it aluminum.
Is that true, or is that one of your
No,
stories?
look it up. I'm not bullshitting you. Not now, but look it up later.
You see you Googling for the rest.
So Diplodocus, two reasons. They're plant eaters, unlike a velociraptor, so they won't have the sort of sharp teeth.
Yeah.
And
But where's the fun in that, Mike?
Well,
Where's the jeopardy?
luckily for me,
so boring.
luckily for me, a Diplodocus got a very long neck. So
I can't believe that somehow you win in this anecdote.
I'll use that on the show.
It's good. I'll ask you a question you may have heard last week when you were listening somehow. If you guys were to go into chrysalis and we're going to melt down, you're no longer yourself, and you come out as anything you want, and it can be yourself changed, or it can be something completely different. What would you come out of?
I'd like to be a short, weak man.
Yeah.
See what I was like?
It's good. Unbeatable. I've lost my page. I'm so excited. I've lost my page. Let's talk about fantasy football, which is very exciting. Elis, the fantasy football is coming back on Sky with you and Matt Lucas again, and that signifies a sort of change that's happened over the last 20 or 30 years as well, and that.
The interesting thing is the format is still amazing, but football has changed so much, and like there was when Frank and David were doing it, there was no social media, there was no VAR, there was no Arsenal fan TV or any of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of new stuff that you can talk about that's very relevant, but you can do it in the way that they used to do it. Because I think with Fantasy Football League, I went back and watched a lot of the original ones, and the charm of it was that it was people who you'd never seen talk about football before, but who were on it, who were authentic, enormous fans of the game. And, up to that point, football had only ever been ex-players on Match of the Day talking about asymmetrical overloads and, losing the ball in transition, all that kind of stuff. And suddenly you had Alison Moyet talking about Southend United. And so it was very, very relatable because Alison Moyet is a huge football fan.
Yeah.
So that's, that hasn't changed. And the way people talk about football in the pub before and after the game hasn't changed in the last 30 years, but obviously the sport has. And, like in the 90s when Frank and David started doing the show, you could win the Premier League pissed.
And did.
It's incredible. Arsene Wenger made Arsenal eat broccoli, and suddenly they were like supermen in comparison with every other footballer. So obviously the game has changed an enormous amount. So it's a lot of fun as well, just to sit in a writer's room and take the piss and talk about football all day. So it's I'm loving it. It's great fun.
Cool. Was there any feeling of is it right to bring this back, or did it feel like it was kind of different enough that you weren't worried about
different enough, and also I think what swung it for me in particular was that Frank and David were right behind it.
Yeah.
So they've been very, very supportive, and I used to tape the show off the telly. Like, it meant a huge amount to me when I was.
Off the fridge is rubbish, isn't it?
But I was obsessed with that program. So when Matt and I walked onto the set for the first time, it was a very, very evocative experience because the set is the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. And also the thing with Matt is, you work with him and he's obviously, as you can imagine, an absolute sketch machine.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's done for 30 years. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're loving it.
Great. I used to go to quite a lot of the recordings of fantasy football because we were with the same management.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's where I met Jimmy Tarbuck. I told him I told him I was a comedian. He said, "Good luck, son. It's the hardest job in the world." And I've, it's like the cockiest thing you could fucking say in it. It's the hardest job in the world, and I've succeeded at it. Yeah. And I don't think you're going to. Is what is sort of.
And I've never met a bomb disposal expert.
It's true. And Mike, there's a lot of things I'm very interested in about you. You're going to have to come back on your own so I can talk to you properly. But tell me about Mammoth, because this sounds like a fantastic idea.
Very kind. So Mammoth is, they say right about what you know.
Yep.
I wrote a pilot which went out on BBC Wales about a year and a bit ago, which we're in negotiation with BBC Network, BBC One, which would be nice. So we've got a big meeting with them next month. So in the pilot, a PE teacher obsessed with the 1970s.
Where do you get your crazy ideas from?
With a thick moustache and Mediterranean good looks. Is engulfed by an avalanche on a school skiing trip in 1979. Brought back to life in the modern day and wants his old job back at his old school. So it follows Tony Mammoth as he goes back into his old school. He hasn't aged. The world's got older, but Tony hasn't. And I got to wear my own clothes and drive my own car. So it was...
You're obviously a big fan of Elvis. And
Huge.
And you've done a tribute act or a...
I used to thrill the valleys of South Wales with my one-man Elvis show. Also got the finals, Rich. You didn't mention it when you mentioned El's band, I noticed, of the European Elvis Festival Championships, where I lost in the final to a chap called Gordon Elvis. I believe was a pen name. I love Elvis. I've loved Elvis since I was like 10 years of age. So and I can sing, so there we go.
Good, very good. Look, so you're doing a big... You do live. You've done quite a few live gigs with this since we've come out of lockdown. But you've got a big one coming up in Cardiff next year.
Yeah, the Arena, hilariously, where I saw Oasis and Radiohead.
I saw Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Yeah.
It's fucking massive.
It is a big place.
So how many tickets do you have to sell it, or have you sold out already?
We haven't sold out yet.
Right.
We will.
We've sold. Well, we nearly
not far
have.
off.
We're not far off. It's a big old, like 5,000.
Jesus Christ, is it?
It's too many.
Fuck. I thought it was a compliment booking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is it, Steff?
February the 3rd.
Thank you.
So.
I knew that.
Did you? No. You got anything on?
No.
That night? Sure.
I got a gig the next night, as we found out, didn't we, on my tour?
Where?
Fucking miles away. That's where. But yeah, so we got the Arena show. Gone back to being called the Cardiff International Arena as well.
It has.
Last week. So that's in next February.
It's just I'm paralysed with fear about it.
I'll be fine.
Well, I don't do
this.
Well,
I couldn't. We're talking about because it's like when you start doing stand-up and you do it for like 3 or 4 people above pubs and you build up and you build up and you build up and you do Edinburgh and they're small and you build up and you build up. Steff's first ever gig, was
the Hackney Empire.
Hackney Empire.
There's 1,200 people
1,200 people on a Saturday night in London, which is his first ever gig.
Yeah.
To do an hour and a half of improvised comedy.
Yeah.
But crucially with you two.
Well,
Yes, if it was just me, the first half hour is just me sitting there like going, fuck it.
And right before...
Backstage,
Look
he
at
was
those lights.
absolutely ashen. It was hilarious. Steff's average audience is about 1,400 people.
The whole place was doing the grandstand thing before we came on. It was really loud, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I looked at Elis, and then Steff had gone. I don't know where he'd gone.
I just had to go behind the curtain.
We thought he'd fucked off.
I nearly did.
Yeah.
Well, because
No, it was
I'm a
big
lecturer by day, and I hadn't even done, because of COVID,
Yeah.
I'd just done it on Zoom.
Yeah.
So I hadn't done anything in real life.
No.
So I hadn't even
Fair
done
play,
a
mate.
100-seater lecture theatre at that point.
Got balls of steel, you got.
Balls of steel.
The funny thing as well is because we were talking about, because obviously it happened right at the start of lockdown 1, and we used to record on a Sunday night and have a drink, and I think the people who listened in those days, it did feel like they were in the pub with us.
Yeah.
Because we'd had a couple, and there was
We'd have a
weren't
few on
like-
us, wouldn't we?
We weren't hammered or anything, but then one day, 12 pints came much later.
And I'm
a very
sorry. I'm
recent
very
one from
sorry.
Mike.
And then we had to do one in the day because one of us was busy on the Sunday night. So obviously we did it sober and realised it was much better. But I think the people who listened in the early days, because the first lockdown was such an odd time, it was a little slice of normality. And then when we did the tour in the autumn of 2021, they just lifted the restrictions that allowed us to do it. We had to cancel a few gigs because they brought lockdowns back in and that kind of stuff. We were meant to do one in the Kentish Town Forum and they pulled it at the last minute. So those first gigs, it was people going out for the first time.
The last days of Rome, wasn't
in
it?
a year. And it was like
The Salford gig.
it was like a fucking zoo.
It was like being in the bunker in May 1945. Wasn't it?
We came in like what I like to call half-time of the gig, the interval. Yeah, it's half-time, go back in the changing rooms, we have a chat. And I was like, is it normally like this, lads? And they were like, no,
Nope.
this is fucking frightening. But
We had people bring in flags,
Yeah.
there was, wasn't there?
bucket hats,
Off one of the boxes in the new theatre in Cardiff, there were
yeah.
flags hanging off it like it was a football match.
eat more chips.
Well, the Hackney Empire, they drank the Hackney Empire dry in the interval, so
Right.
which they hadn't seen for a while, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just about booze. I just think it was a general release of people being out and enjoying themselves and getting
Yes.
together. And
But it was an odd thing to try and capture a little bit because obviously no one knew what they were talking about in those early few shows. You didn't know how long it was going to last and all that kind of stuff.
I didn't expect 1,000 gacked up North Wales to be at Salford, if I'm honest.
live and let live.
When I texted you both about doing a sports podcast, that wasn't what I had in mind. Was the queue for the urinal being really short. No problem having a piss in there, lads. Curious.
Was interesting, that one.
That was fucking hell.
We should try and have a pint with people after the shows. Whenever we could, we stayed behind and have a couple of drinks. And then the Newcastle show, I had to come back and referee my son's rugby the next day. Steff had to get back for some college stuff the next day. Al had to go back and see his sister, I believe, in Cardiff.
No, Swansea were playing Cardiff.
Swansea playing
So I
Cardiff.
was going back for the derby.
So we had to get a taxi back from Newcastle to Cardiff, didn't we?
Yeah.
A 6-hour taxi at
Yeah.
midnight. And then...
Wouldn't let me sleep.
yeah.
In case, not that I was
I
driving,
thought-
in case we crashed.
Yeah.
I thought I'd rather be asleep if we crashed.
But then a couple of the followers got a bit pissed off. We hadn't stayed for a drink with them.
Yeah.
I said, but I had to take a taxi back to Cardiff from Newcastle.
Yeah, because I'm refereeing under 12s rugby. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm such
Was
a
In a
it
very
bit-
reasonable manner, having a no sleep.
It was a big game.
It's incredible that, I mean, it just happens with certain podcasts that just go through the roof like that this is a very new podcast, right? It can only be 2 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's absolutely gone through the roof that quickly. It's
Also, I mean, we were joking about 1,000 gacked up North Walians, which is a sight to behold. But in terms of the subjects we cover, because Mike taught P's, there are very few sports Mike can't discuss very confidently, in that he's coached almost all of them, and he really likes American sport. Steff, when I first met Steff, he was a sports journalist and was a commentator, and it's the same thing, and I love football, and we've discussed such a wide range of sports, and I never liked American sport, for instance, I did this podcast, but because we choose a documentary every week, I can now hold a very short conversation about NFL, for instance. But as Mike said, we talked a lot about disability sport, we do a lot about women's sport as well. So there is something in it for a wide variety of listeners, I think.
yeah.
I think probably our only weakness is that if we do impressions of anyone, they almost always become Welsh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, when
I'll occasionally lapse into rugby league.
yeah. So when we did impressions of Kimbo Slice, the
Are you aware of Kimbo's work?
the UFC fighter who first became famous for beating people up in his back garden in front of a rotary washing line.
Backyard brawler.
Even though he's an American gentleman, or was an American gentleman,
God rest his soul.
our impression, he was from Rhydyman, man. And it's just one of those... I think
my favourite one was the hypothetical situation where I got a game for Liverpool in the Premier League. Just on the base, biggest like got off with Ian Dowie.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
And I think with the Kimbo Slice episode, when we started talking about him, up to that point, we'd kept...
Simon Slice.
Simon Slice, yeah. Excuse me, is Simon coming out to play? No, he's beaten someone up in the back garden. He's angry again.
Don't call me Simon in front of the boys, man.
Stop embarrassing me! So he's quite a camp. Yeah. He's quite a camp ultra-violent.
Camp Westphalian.
Yeah. Up to that point, we had tried to keep it fairly straight and talk about sport and do sort of, as is the general consensus in a podcast, like a 50-minute episode that sort of sticks a topic. We consider doing 2 in a night. And then when we started... remember
that conversation.
But then when we started making each other laugh, they were the ones that people...
But I thought that
the
originally...
first 4 we did make each other laugh. I just edited it all out.
Yeah.
In a stroke of fucking genius.
Yeah.
Thinking I want my sports podcast here with the 2 funny
Yeah.
guys. And then...
I used to make notes in the early episodes.
You don't make notes now? Do you make notes?
Not now.
What a fucking mug I am. Look,
We've never had a contract. There's people think we're joking. And my agent certainly thinks I'm joking, right?
Yeah.
We've never had a contract, so there's no paperwork that I know of.
No.
Nope.
Steff deals with all of the money, and Mike and I let him.
Yeah.
That's how it should work. Trust, lads. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's you're all Welsh, and it's Welsh. It's a Welsh thing.
My favourite review is it's relatable despite being Welsh.
Yeah.
Like
think
somehow
that
made it alien content.
That's what I was about. But I think, like, if it was a TV show or someone was putting it together, they would say, "Oh well, no, you can't have 3 guys from Wales."
Yeah.
But although
you
it
could
is
have 3 guys from England, it wouldn't even be a
exactly,
thought process.
Of course,
That's
exactly.
fucking hilarious.
But it does. It is more universal than that. Clearly, you're doing it everywhere, and you're getting an audience. But it's sort of part of it without being part of it as well, isn't it? It's
I
interesting.
am fascinated by the listeners from, like, we had an email from someone who listens in Wyoming and who doesn't particularly like sport. And you think, what on earth are you getting out of this? But they do exist.
But there's I don't know, you can talk about Kev Nathan or whatever. There's one of those wherever you're from.
Yeah.
Isn't there? It's just talking about small stuff.
I think
a small place is a small place.
Yeah.
I think there's a I don't know if it's a Welsh thing. You've not wanted it. You're not thinking that if you talk about Welsh stuff, it somehow excludes everybody else. Where if you're Billy Connolly, you can talk about working on the shipyards in Glasgow, and everyone gets it. Everyone understands what blue collar workers are. Everyone understands that sort of language, that conversation. The fact he's got an accent or he's from Glasgow or drinks in the Saracen Head is irrelevant, really. We all know those pubs and those places and those people and those relatives. So, yeah, we never worry now about going down little Welsh rabbit holes because I think people aren't stupid, are they? People aren't thick. They can get on board with it.
And, people want, people, I think it's about the relatability of the people. It's about whether you like the people.
Yeah, everyone fancies their nan, don't they? The sexy one, I mean.
Sexy now. Yeah.
But also because it's sports. Sport is such a massive subject that even if you like sport, you still need to explain nearly all. You can't assume your audience, if you talk about UFC or whatever, you can't assume, or American sport, you can't assume all your audience is going to know about it. You're all very good. I've listened to it, and some of the stuff I don't know anything about, but you can follow it and you understand it and you understand what it's about. And it's interesting on all those levels. You were talking, and the last one I was listening, you were talking about your daughter going to a kind of weird dance competition where there was some experimental dance.
That was hilarious. It was in Shaftesbury Avenue, and one of the dance groups there, not my daughter's dance group, did. Bear in mind these are 12-year-old girls, and it was on September the 11th.
Yeah.
Which alarm bells, all right? They did an interpretive dance on the fall of the Twin Towers, including actual 911 recorded messages during the dance. It was the worst/best thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was a bold move for a 12-year-old dance competition.
And also, sport is about human stories.
Yeah.
So we watched an amazing documentary a couple of weeks ago about a Greco-Roman wrestler.
This is the one you were talking about.
Rulon Gardner.
And he has had one of the most fascinating lives of it's just an extraordinary story. And he grew up on a dairy farm in Wyoming. And, I mean, he got
ticking all L's boxes.
L's in
really.
this straight away. Dairy farm.
But he got, you know, sort of... He had learning difficulties, or he has learning difficulties. But then the one thing that really clicked for him was wrestling. So he suddenly he was an Olympic gold medalist. He fought the greatest wrestler of all time. You could argue probably the greatest athlete of all time in the final and beat him. Someone who was so good that the top wrestlers would opt out of those fights. They would try and...
He won for 13 years straight.
Yeah. Undefeated for 13 years. But then, you know, he becomes very famous, he becomes rich, he squanders his money, he has... What was the mad thing that happened to him? He got
ripped off with various investment schemes.
There was a what do you call them? The ski-doos. He was on a ski-doo.
Oh, he nearly
went
drowned.
Underwater.
Yeah.
And then
almost lost both his legs to frostbite.
He was in a plane crash.
He was in a plane crash.
Over a frozen lake.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about unlucky.
He got shot in the abdomen with a bow and arrow when he was 10
car,
during
he
an
got hit
episode
by a
of Show
car.
and Tell.
And the point was, we didn't know anything about Greco-Roman wrestling.
No.
We didn't know any of the rules, it was just about him. So we did some Gaelic football stuff the other week. I don't know the rules of Gaelic football, but I can understand those people's stories and what they're playing.
Yeah.
That's the interesting stuff to us. It's not so much the sport or the result.
I think
it's
it is
the
to all
people playing
sports
it.
fans, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think the stuff that you were talking about before, like when we were kids growing up, that would alienate people who didn't like sport.
Yeah.
That stuff isn't relevant, I don't think, because you can't play football. And, who cares?
No, and it's and again that episode of the BT Sport episode where you're showing like unexpected victories and stuff. There's some just rewatching, which I would have done at the time. Dennis Taylor versus Steve Davis and that black ball finish.
Oh yeah,
it's so full of drama. It's absolutely unbelievable.
That's proper, but that proper hooked everybody. Didn't it? Because Steve Davis had the narrative of being the boring guy.
Yeah.
You thought his glasses were a style choice.
Yeah. I hadn't realised that they were... Dennis Taylor's glasses were the shape they were because obviously he's always trying to play snooker. I assumed that he genuinely thought they looked brilliant. And that, the past, it was a different country.
Just like waistcoats and big glasses.
Yeah. And then you find out that Steve Davis is an enormous fan of sort of prog rock and krautrock, and he likes bands like Noi and Can, and he DJs at Glastonbury, and again, we're not talking about snooker. We're talking about someone who's devoted his life to snooker, but obviously has a cultural hinterland. So I think that's where the people who don't like sport necessarily get a lot out of it, because it's about the person behind the racket or the cue.
If you just pick a little clip, it's fine. It's just having to sit through 5 days of something. So you've done the right thing. Let's find the best clip.
Let's find the best bits of sport.
and then show it to people. Look, it's been really terrific having you on, guys. And why aren't 5,000 people coming to see this?
Well, they wouldn't fit in for a kickoff.
They would have. We should have begun a big. Let's get out of here.
Go on.
Let's next time, where we've only sold 80 tickets, go to the Wembley Arena, and they will come. They will come. Look, do come and see us live, everyone at home. It's nice live, isn't it? It's better live. And thank you very much to Elis, Mike, and Steff, the socially distant sports bar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Come and see us next week. Sarah Pascoe, Chris McCausland. It's going to be great. Thank you very much. Bye. You have been listening to RHLSTP with me, Richard Herring, and my guests, Mike Bobbins, Elis James, and Steff Guerrero. The music is by Scant Regard. I'm indebted to my producer, Ben Walker. I also have a small debt of gratitude to Chris Evans, not that one or the other one. It's the one from GoFasterStripe.com. And thank you also to Kathleen McKeegan for her fantastic research work. And thank you to everyone at the Leicester Square Theatre, who I rudely forgot to mention last week's credits, even though they are amongst the top 15 venues I've ever worked at. This is a Sky Potato Fuzz. That's pretty good. I've worked at a lot of venues. This is a Sky Potato Fuzz and GoFasterStripe.com production. Buy my book. It Like My Ball. It's just come out. There we go. We got there in the end. It's called Can I Have My Ball Back? Available from all good bookshops and all good internet sites and all rubbish ones as well.